Thanks to both Kickstarter and especially Free League, the Walking Dead universe role-playing game came out a while ago. It was successfully funded, and now Free League has been very kind to send me this copy of the starter set for me to take a look at. And of course, I have devoured it. Welcome to the GMS Magazine RPG review videos. So after having taken a look at this, is this actually going to be worth the amount of money that you have to spend to get your hands on it? Well, I'm going to give you enough information for you to decide for yourself. The starter set has a very different feel in the cover from the core book, which is going to be the next video that we're going to release. And the bag of the game, of the box, I beg your pardon, contains everything you need to know about what's in here, including your content warning about, well, The Walking Dead. So you're going to get everything to get yourself involved in the Walking Dead universe. And now this is for real. That's exactly where you're going to be, because in theory, although you could take this game into any era within the Walking Dead universe, it is based around the fifth season of the series. So there you go. So the box is quite sturdy, which is very nice. It's going to last you a fair amount of time, which is very good. It's very thick cardboard. I like the cover for one reason, which I was about to say earlier, and then I got distracted by my own thoughts. And it's that even though The Walking Dead is all about, well, Walking Dead, but in this particular cover, what I like is that it's also about the people behind everything and how people can be a much, much bigger threat than the Walking Dead themselves, even though the Walking Dead are the biggest threat. But let's make no mistake, this is a game about people, not about zombies, right? Inside we find two different sets of dice, one red and one in black. And I will explain why they are like that. These are the skill dice and these are the walker dice. When I tell you about the rules, everything will become very, very clear. This little thing here, this is a threat meter, and this is going to help you to decide or to show your players how dangerous the situation actually is becoming. So you could have a swarm or a horde of zombies of Walking Dead, and you would have a threat meter of 5. As you progress with the adventure, you could make it go down or go up. Of course, up is bad, so more is worse, basically. We get two booklets. Rules and the Wolf's Den. This is an adventure. The rules. The cover of the rules is very simple. There's absolutely nothing to it other than a hand, which is about as big as mine. I have small hands. And inside, we're going to get everything we need to get started. Literally. We don't get any rules for leveling up. We don't get any rules about how to create a hive. A haven properly. We don't get any character creation rules either. This is the bare bones of the rules for the game. So we have everything we need to play, but not everything we need in order to have the full experience, but experience enough. So we get a little bit of an introduction, a little bit of the world of the dead, player characters, they're pre-gens, so that's it. What are the characteristics? What are our stress and anchors? This is something I like an awful lot. How to use the skills, what the skill list is, duels, brawls, damage, healing, other hazards, gear, fighting the dead, running the game, etc., etc. The layout is very good. It's not as clean as other Free League games, but then this is not a clean game, is it? It should certainly not be, and it doesn't read or feel like it. There are plenty of illustrations to give you clues as to how the feel of the whole thing is, even though if you are a fan of The Walking Dead, and why wouldn't you be, you will know all these things already. So how to use your skills. Okay, let's talk about the rules a little bit. Why 2 sets of dice? One of the things I like about the Year Zero engine is how flexible and versatile it is. You can get a number of skills like fortitude, wits, agility and empathy, and a number of abilities or different abilities and then skills are associated to them. So you can get a pool of dice, which can be anything like 5, 6, 7, 8 dice, and roll them. Every 6 is a success. That's it. If you fail, you can force. If you force, you start adding these dice. These are stress dice. And if on those dice, which you get a 1, that's called rolling a walker. And what it does is that it makes you, well, it gives you some really bad things. So you can succeed and get a walker, and then your car crashes. You have succeeded in escaping, but something bad has happened. Something that you can do, which is something that is, ubiquitous in the Year Zero engine, is that you can push your roll. So if you want to push your roll, you take every die that's not a success. And you may want to do that because either you haven't got any successes or you need more than 1 in order to, well, succeed fully on whatever task. However, as soon as you decide to push, you get stress. Stress is handled slightly differently than in other Free League games, because as soon as you get stress, you get a consequence, like you get jittery, or you lose an awful lot of patience, or you get a nervous breakdown, or you decide to do something reckless. And the other thing is that you don't need to roll this to get stress. Seeing somebody that you love being killed can and should give you some stress. Running out of water, being assaulted in the middle of the night by this malevolent gang of people, all of those things are going to give you stress. And that's not a good thing, because stress, if you fail completely and you get a 1, if you roll a walker, then you mess up. And if you mess up royally, big time. And how are you going to get out of that? That is a very tricky one. You also get anchors. I love anchors. An anchor is somebody who will help you stay grounded. So, for instance, Rick in the series would be your anchor. You can talk to them and that will help you decrease your stress. An anchor can be your son who's in the haven, or your partner, or the priest. Anybody can be an anchor. Of course, if anything happens to the anchor, you could lose drive, which is something else that's added to this game, and I love that. Your drive is what gives you the motivation to stay alive. And how are you approaching that survival? You could lose that drive. If you use the drive, then you can roll more dice, and that will help you a great deal. Of course, if it makes sense within the game itself. So they have added a number of things. The one thing, this is lethal. It is fairly easy to become shattered. Okay, so at one point you can become overwhelmed. When you become overwhelmed, you roll a die. If you roll anything between 3 and 5, you become shattered. That is a serious mental condition that you get. Like, for instance, talking to the dead, or thinking that they are your friends, or you decide to protect one special walker because it reminds you of somebody, or you become paranoid about somebody or everybody in your group. That's shattered. You can de-shatter yourself, but that takes time. In-game time. It's not a matter of just sleeping one night and say, I'm not shattered. No. Oh, hell no. It requires that you do something, that your anchor does something to help you get out of that condition. Otherwise, you could be doing something really stupid, which in this game could both be very, very lethal and very, very necessary at times as well. So that's kind of how the rules are going to work in here. The characters are only going to have 3 points of damage. And after that, they get critically wounded. When you get critically wounded, you're going to roll dice in a table, which is like super scary, because it will do things like, for instance, if you roll a 53, one of your fingers gets bitten off and the infection from the bite spreads into your body. Your only chance to survive is to amputate the hand within these 6 minutes. Take 2 points of damage. Whoops. It is that bad. That lethal, this game. And it should be. It's The Walking Dead. It should be. So this will give you everything to give you a feel and a flavor for how utterly awfully hard surviving in this world is. To make matter worse, or better, we get The Wolf's Den. The Wolf's Den is an adventure I'm not going to show a lot for obvious reasons. I don't want to spoil anything. We're going to have to find some equipment that people have stolen from our camp. And if you are familiar with The Walking Dead, the wolves are people who appear. It's a malevolent band that appears in season 5. You have to be dealing with them in here. The adventure is short, it's very concise, it only has 3 different locations. It's meant to again give you a kind of flavor for the whole thing. Again, it is lethal, and it does something very well that I do like, and is that it puts people into making tough choices, which is very cool. So I read this in one sitting. It's very short. It's next to nothing, to be honest with you, but it is very well done for you to get everything you need to play. Of course, we get a number of maps. We get the Northeast Georgia map and Southwest Virginia, which is where things are meant to be taking place. And then we also get a few more maps which are to play the adventure. These are not double-sided, and they are a completely different style from the large land map. And these are the 3 locations that come in this adventure. Not much to them. Last but not least, we get the NPCs, the player characters that you can use. So we get Gabriel. And this is a character I absolutely hated when it came into the show. For the first time, I just thought, why don't you just get eaten? And then I grew very fond of him. We get Michonne, Glang, and Carol. And then we get a few more NPCs that are part of the adventure, and they have not illustrated because these are cooler. So how do I rate this? This is a very hard thing to do for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because objectively, and after having opened the Blade Runner starter set and the Forbidden Land set, it's not as full. It doesn't come with as many things. So you could be forgiven for thinking, why is it worth this the same as a game like Blade Runner that has so many bits and bobs? It's a very tough one because factually you don't need that many things to play this game, and I would say that thematically it fits because this is a sparse box on a game with sparse content, as in the world, the world of The Walking Dead. You have difficulties getting everything. On the other hand, you also get absolutely everything you need to play because you don't need a lot. Just like in the Walking Dead universe, you don't need a lot. You just need a bare minimum to survive. And this is exactly what this gives you. So thematically, I can see the connection. But yeah, it feels barren compared with other things. Blade Runner needed it because it's an investigation game. So all these handouts and all those things were necessary. Here, not so much. So from that point of view, I cannot fault them. Things I like about the game, what they've done with the Year Zero engine. I really like how they've turned it into a character play munching machine. It is going to be, you're going to see through an awful lot of player characters. So don't get too attached to them. I love what they've done with that. I love how they have captured the tough kind of nature of the world. I love how this game places a massive, massive weight on the player characters' interactions and on the players themselves. So this is something else that you have to be careful about. In any other game, well, you can play alone. Here it is a lot harder because you as a player are going to have to decide how you fail. I mean, the GM could tell you, but the fun bit is for you to figure out. If you mess up, how? How are you going to live with the consequences of your actions? Come on, this is a game in which one of the rules is push people into a horde. You literally could use one of your NPCs or even one of your friends' characters and push them to a horde so you can survive. And there's a rule for that. This is mean. This is a very mean game, and it has to be a very mean game. But it gives you a lot of agency because you are meant to live, as I said, with the consequences of your actions. So this is not a game for beginners. And it may take you a little bit to get used to the idea of having the agency or giving the agency to the players for them to do whatever it is they want to do within the game and invent their consequences. But you have to do it. So this is hard, this is fun, and this is recommended. I would recommend it. One thing that also this starter set doesn't do very well is take you away from the bare bones of story making in the Walking Dead universe. Yes, you can play a campaign mode. Yes, you can play a adventure mode kind of thing, shorter, which is exactly what you have in here. But it doesn't give you any ideas as to how to create a longer adventure. You could easily find yourself just reliving a situation within the Walking Dead series time and time and time and time again. It needs a little bit more of that, but it is a starter set. You need a core rulebook for that to happen and to throw a fair amount of imagination. But it is one of the dangers. If you want to play the seasons, this is it. You may need a few more things, but this is it. If you want anything else, this will be short. But this is the perfect starting point. Very quick to read, very well written, and very nicely produced, even though it is emptier than other starter sets. Anyway, we have enjoyed it. I have enjoyed the game. I'm reading it a lot, and considering that I am one who gave up on this series a while ago because I thought it was a bit... This has made me actually want to rewatch a few of those seasons, because I feel that I have missed a few things that this game brings to life. And that, as far as I'm concerned, is a triumph. If you have already played this game, I would love to hear what you have to say. If you haven't, please let me know when you do. And until the next time, I will talk to you very, very soon. Take care.